What's going on, peeps? It's your boy Gromit and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and do a video that's been floating around quite a lot in the vinyl community recently. It's the top 10 albums that I listen to the most. So I've put together a lot of, 10 albums here, 13 actually, but I'll get on to why there's 13 here in a bit. And I just kind of rummaged through my record collection and thought I listened to that quite a lot, so it's on the list. The album that is spinning today is Black Midi's Cavalcade. Not actually on this list, but I thought, for a video about listening to vinyl, then I should put on a record. So Black Midi, brilliant southern, not southern in America, southern London, math rock, jazzy fusion kind of stuff. It's brilliant. Check them out. So a few pointers before we get into this list. This isn't a top 10. These albums are in a random order because I don't really make a list of every single time I listen to an album what it is. So I just kind of picked these up and thought I listened to that really quite a lot. So here are the albums, and also this isn't, just a top 10 favourite, because I think a lot of people think that the albums that you listen to the most are your favourite albums of all time. Obviously, all these albums are brilliant, but some of them might surprise you. They're not really in my top 10 list. In fact, my most favourite album of all time is Revolver by the Beatles, and it's not even in this list, so it's complete. Let's just see what I've got. The Doors, self-titled debut album. It's been in my collection for a while. This is not an original, this is one of the repressing ones. It's the Doors debut album. It's my favourite Doors album. It's just brilliant front to finish, and I'll tend to put this album on when I'm doing work, and I'll just break on through to the other side, break up to sing over it, and so this definitely has to go on this list. The Doors, 1967. So next up I've got here Deep Purple in Rock. Absolutely classic album this. I've got it on the original Harvest label without the EMI credit, so it's a true first pressing. Again, this is an album that's just very fun to listen to, especially when you're doing work. But also, I love to jam to this album when I'm playing guitar and stuff like that. So it deserved its place on this list, sort that out later. But yeah, Deep Purple and Rock, Speed King, Charlton Time, Bloodsucker, Flight of the Rat, Living Wreck, Hard Loving Man, just absolutely sensational album, and one I listen to frequently. Next up, and for the Beatles pick, it obviously was going to come, Abbey Road, not Revolver. Revolver is my favourite album of all time. Abbey Road is easily my second favourite album by the Beatles. But this sounds just brilliant on vinyl, especially this -2, -1 Matrix first pressing of it from 1969. And I Want You, She's So Heavy on this album is my favourite song of all time, and it sounds just beautiful on vinyl. So I tend to listen to this one more when I'm listening to Beatles on vinyl. Just an excellent album. Obviously, it's Abbey Road. Next up, we got the Hollies for certain, because if you've seen my channel, you know I love the Hollies. I love Graham Nash, I love Crosby, Stills and Nash. But this is undoubtedly the best Hollies album ever. And it's just such a fun album. It's one that really, when I'm feeling down, I'll put it on and it'll lift me up. It's an absolutely solid album. This is a UK first mono pressing. But yeah, this is definitely one that since I got it about 4 or 5 years ago, it's been played at least 30-40 times on that turntable. At least once a month I'll put on this album and listen to it. So yeah. Next up, Nirvana, Bleach. Not Nevermind. Bleach, I think, is the more fun album of the two. Nevermind, of course, is the classic. No one can take anything away from Nevermind. but I listen to Bleach more, especially when I'm jamming on guitar. You know, I'm a big fan of grunge, and Bleach it's very, very it's closer to metal than it is to grunge in some aspects. You know, Mr. Mustache on the song. But yeah, a lot of these albums are fun to listen to, and that's why I listen to them. This is really fun, and it's my favourite Nirvana album. And yeah, I listen to this one a lot. Still in the cellophane as well. Just cut the sides open. Now here's the one that, I guess if it was number one, I'd say that this is an album I've listened to the most in my life on vinyl, but there's a reason for that, and this is Dawn of the Dickies. Now this was once ranked as my number one favourite album of all time, and it's still definitely up there with one of my favourites of all time, but that was back when I was about 12, 13, I said that I'm 20 now, so, but my record collection has changed significantly over the past 12, 13 years. You know, I think that this is really the only album that is like remained in my collection for that long. I've had this since I was about 10, 9, 8, something like that. I can't remember when I picked it up in Newcastle, this for $7.99 at Beatdown Records. And it's on a nice blue vinyl there. Yeah. So this, when I was about 12, 13, I'd put this on every week pretty much. I'd listen to this every week. So, no shit that would end up on this list. So yeah, Dawn of the Dickies. It is an absolutely excellent album. Brilliant pop punk from California. Early punk, 1979 this. And the Dickies, they were known for doing a lot of covers of TV songs and, you know, theme songs and stuff like that. Their most popular song, obviously, is Banana Splits, which was on Kill Bill. So yeah, Dawn of the Dickies is in that. Got my original and my repressing that I've had for, God knows, 8 years now. Yeah, it's Paranoid. Not really much else to say other than it's Paranoid. Now, this is my third to last album, so this is number 7. I've got 3 albums here that I've kind of just put into one category, and that is Backtracks 3, 4 and 5. These I've had for ages now. And these are just sensational, and they're very cheap. If you find one of these, pick it up. Basically what this is just the best of track records from the late 60s. But 3, 4 and 5, it's literally The Who on one side and Jimi Hendrix Experience on the other. It's just sensational, you know. If you want to listen to The Who or Jimi Hendrix Experience, and these obviously being from the late 60s as well, these are direct analog cuts from the tapes that each song came from. And I mean, it's The Who on one side, Jimi Hendrix on the other. I've had them for so long. I mean, literally when I just want to listen to something, I'll put one of these 3 albums on. Doesn't matter which one, it's the one that I pull out. Each album, fantastic songs by The Who and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And yeah, the Backtrack albums, relatively cheap. I got most of these for like £3 out of charity shops, and yeah, I mean, just for what there is on the back, well, not what there is on the disc, I should say. Yeah, I undoubtedly listened to these 3 albums over 500 times probably since I got them, you know, in random combinations. Sometimes I'll be in a Backtrack 5 mood, and then next week I'll be in a 3 mood, and then but we don't listen to 4. Not this week, maybe next week. But yeah, Backtrack albums. So I just added them as one record. So this one is kind of spoiling my next video, which is just my vinyl pickups for the last month. But I've had about 10 copies of this record in my life, and they've kind of gone and went to my collection. But this is the newest one that I picked up. Led Zeppelin II. My favourite Led Zeppelin album is Led Zeppelin III, but I mean, when I'm playing guitar and I want to just jam out to some you know, Led Zeppelin, this is the album that I pick up. I mean, this is Jimmy Page at his best, honestly. The riffs that he made for this album, Heartbreaker, Whole Lot of Love, obviously, the Lemon Song, Living, Loving, Made, Bring It On Home, I mean, the riffs on this album are just so fun and so brilliant. This is original first pressing on the plum there. This one does have the Lemon Song credit, and it is credited to the band. Later plum pressings had that changed to the Killing Floor. So yeah, again, this is an album that I don't need to say much about. I think this is a very easy answer. And I think a lot of these have been easy answers, but I mean, it's because it's what I fucking listen to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and try and candy my way through my record collection and pick out the most obscure stuff just to make me look like I'm so into music, because honestly, a lot of my favourite albums of all times, and the albums that I listen to a lot, are just the easy picks, because they're great. So, Led Zeppelin II. Obviously. And we're on to the last one now, and just as I say about obscure picks, I guess this is kind of an obscure pick, and that's the Madcap Laugh Syd Barrett. This is just a sensational album. This is Syd Barrett after Pink Floyd, obviously, but this was produced by David Gilmour and Roger Waters, and Nick Mason does the drums on this album as well. So I guess it's just the second Pink Floyd album with Syd Barrett, but of course this is all his own stuff. This album more goes into, there's the Harvest label by the way, this album leans more into folk rock almost, but there's still those clear, witty, brilliant Syd Barrett kind of word plays and lyricization, whatever the fuck. And the songs on this album: Terrapin, No Good Trying, Love You, Dark Globe, Here I Go, Octopus, which was the single, She Took a Long Cool Look at Me, Late Night. All these songs are just, I mean, they're just excellent. And I mean, I listened to this album quite a lot ever since I first got it. I've always been a big Syd Barrett fan, so this I decided was worth to be in my top 10 most listened albums list, because I listened to it quite a lot. So yeah, there we go. There's 10 albums that I listen to a lot. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. If you watch this video and you want to discuss the top 10 albums that you listen to the most, go ahead and do so, and leave the link in the comments below, and I'll definitely be sure to watch it and give you a like. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later on.